Season 2, Episode 5 of the Braxtons. Let's talk about it. This table scene, annoying as fuck, because each and every sister, once again, on some bullshit. Where do I even begin? First things first, off rip, I love how none of y'all held Tony accountable for popping all that shit off. Tony is the one that got extremely out of fucking character and got up in Tamar's face like she was ready to fight her, knowing her ass couldn't do that. Y'all let Tony completely slide out of this whole situation unscathed. What did I say in my last video, y'all? Those two see Tony as the Tony Braxton and she has to be protected at all fucking costs. So holding her accountable for bad fucking behavior is not what they're going to do. Now, granted, Tony said, maybe I didn't have to get that crazy. It didn't feel like she was actually taking accountability. She acknowledges that she got up, but she's like, I was mad. Like, no. You got emotional over a dude from 20 years ago? Ain't you with this nigga Birdman? Like, why are you that emotional about an old nigga? Like, stop. I would have preferred Tony to say, I think I owe Tamar an apology because realistically, I should not have got up in her face like that because me doing that escalated everything else afterwards. So I do need to apologize to her for that. Trina and Towanda is not going to go against what Tony says. They would have just sucked it up and moved on. Trina, you pushed her. Now, I already know how they're thinking about this. They're going to sit here and say, well, I didn't push her. I didn't put my hands on her and then just shove her. No, you're right, Trina. You didn't do that. However, when you see two people getting fucking close like this and you're coming in there and pushing both of them back, like there was obvious, tension on how you was shoving these girls back. Yeah, you was bound to get some level of an attitude. Now, do I agree with Tamar necessarily pulling your hair and kicking you? No. But let us also pay attention to the fact of why she felt like she had to fight to defend herself. You have Towanda sitting here talking all this shit, putting all these fake ass rumors and shit out there to save herself from the fact that she was stealing money and not giving Tamar her $50,000 fucking back. So that was attack number one. You got Tony Braxton getting the fuck up out her seat like she wanted to fucking fight Tamar. And now here you come putting your hands on her. She fell back into a corner already by all three of her sisters. Neither one of y'all motherfuckers was coming to her defense. It was just attack, attack, attack. And when someone feels like that, guess what? They turn into defense mode. So Trina, while I do think you meant well because you are the sister that hate to see your sisters fight, that would have been the perfect time for you to just let security handle that. You should not have gotten involved. But then there's also this very weird piece of me. Hear me out, y'all. Hear me out. There's this very weird piece of me that feels like you're kind of happy that it happened. So that way you also now have something to complain about when it comes to Tamar. Because at that dinner table, you and Tamar wasn't fighting. There was no issue between y'all two. It was between Tamar and Towanda and then Tamar and Tony. You had nothing to do with that. So now I feel like you feel this level of I can relate to my sisters now that I have an issue with Tamar because wow, how dare she pull my hair and kick me? But you're also not taking accountability of the fact that maybe you should not have just gotten physically in between the two. Like, it's a natural thing. When people are fucking mad, a lot of people don't want to be touched. They don't want to be spoken to. They don't want none of that shit. And you know better, Trina. You know better. Don't even get me on this bald head scallywag. Let me tell you something, Towanda. You a fucking joke. I love how we so eloquently did not talk about the fact that you was using her credit card for that phone bill. And you also not addressing that $50,000 you fucking owe her. You want to talk about every fucking thing else. And you are spearheading this conversation with Tony, who is rightfully so saying maybe we should just have a conversation with her and talk to her and try to understand each other. You're spearheading this conversation of, no, we shouldn't. Just let it go. Why are you talking to her? That's that manipulation shit. When someone's on your ass, you got to turn the entire family around. We've seen this in place several times over a decade now, Towanda. And I love how you took this, she threw a drink at me. We should have pressed charges. How dare she? I love that that's the stance you're taking because I specifically remember you having a fucking meltdown over Tamar walking out on Braxton Family Values mid-dinner, mid-conversation, and you was throwing glasses all over the place talking about you didn't care. Did you give a fuck on if you was going to cut anybody? Did you give a fuck about the fact that this was assault? No. You was mad as fuck in your fucking feelings. So you acting like you can't understand where Tamar was coming from and you had every right to sit here and want to press charges on her? Don't piss me off, bitch. And your little fucking party was ugly as fuck. I don't care. I said what I said. Yuck! That's exactly what it was giving. Also, let me bring that up too. In the beginning of this episode, you're literally in your confessionals complaining about how none of your sisters showed up. You didn't single out anybody up until the end part. But in the very beginning, you're complaining about how your sisters are not showing up for you. I don't understand. You just sat here and got to a fight with Tamar. Now you're upset that she's not showing up. I don't get it. I'm going to say this again, just like I said in my last 2 videos. Why the fuck are you sending her any type of invitation to your wedding if you already had these nasty hatred feelings towards her? I just don't fucking understand. I understand now you fucking uninvited her, but I feel like you was just doing that to be fucking petty and manipulative again. You always send Tamar these mixed signals on whether you want to be her sister or not. When she accepts, you're pissed off about it, and then you're trying to paint her like she's crazy for even accepting this invitation from you. And then you follow up with the, you see, that's why I didn't even want her to come in the first place. She's uninvited to my wedding. She can't show up. She can't show up. Then why would you send her a fucking invite to your wedding in the first place, Towanda? You didn't want her to go. You're just being a weird bitch, per usual. Yes, I'm gonna call her a bitch because she's acting like such a bitch. Like, I can't stand it. Between the last episode and this episode, you were literally complaining about how you felt like none of your sisters showed up or put you as a priority. But then gonna sit here and be mad by the one person who was trying to put you as a priority no matter fucking what. Despite y'all beefs and whatever, she was willing to put all that aside to make sure that you was feeling special and you was loved and cared for on your fucking wedding day. And that wasn't good enough for you. Sick behavior. Miss Evelyn, I'm fucking annoyed. You're allowing this shit to go on. There's no handling of this whatsoever, but I'm not surprised. Because I saw the preview for next week, and it seems like Tamar really isn't there. You let that shit fly. Instead of talking to Towanda and saying you need your sisters there. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, Tamar has always showed up for you despite y'all issues. That's how it's always been. So allow her to be there to love on you and make it about you. She's not about to sit here and fight with you. Why didn't you do that, Miss Evelyn? You are a huge part of the reason why these girls are fighting. And I've been avoiding having to make a video about you. I don't like you and what you stand for a lot. Like, you come up on my screen and I already feel exhausted. Realistically, I do. But I'll save you for another time. I don't like the person that Tamar was talking to because he kept trying to push her to make it right with her family. But then he started having some sense and saying you just gonna have to love them from a distance. That's the best thing that man has said the entire time he was sitting at that table. What Tamar is feeling is extremely valid. I don't want no one invalidating her feelings when it comes to Towanda and how her sisters treat her. The sisters, now that they don't have Tracy to sit here and pick on and call fat and make her seem like she's the lackey sister, the weird sister and all this other stuff. Now, Tamar, this has become a you thing. Now, all that energy has now shifted to you. And one thing that Tamar said at this table that was very fucking evident, and I just said it like 30 seconds ago, maybe. She said, no matter what, I am always here for my sisters. I show up all of the time. And that is something that I can 100% sit here and say is very fucking true, even just from watching the fucking show. She has always been there for her sisters. She's had fights with Tracy. She's had fights with Towanda. She's had fights with Trina and Tony. And when they call and they need her, she's there. Now, no, is Tamar the fucking saint of the fucking group? No, all the sisters have their own damaging ways when it comes to their sisterhood. However, in this waking moment, yes, Tamar is the little sister that always wants to be around her sisters and seek love from her sisters. And when she don't feel like it, this is when I feel like she starts acting out. Tawanda's a perfect example. She's sitting here and bitching about Tamar and her behavior, but then also was just sitting here bitching about the fact that her sisters did not show up for her. So it was like, what do you want, Towanda? And this is why Tamar be getting stressed out and she has bad anxiety and all this other shit when it comes to her sisters. Y'all be sending her mixed fucking signals. I feel like it would just be much easier if Towanda sat there and said, I don't fuck with you. I don't want you in my life. Ain't no reaching out. Ain't none of this. Don't be extending olive branches, then taking it away when you were in your fucking feelings when it comes to Tamar. Don't do that shit to her. I don't think Tamar owes anybody a conversation at all. I think they owe her a conversation and to hear her out and to apologize because all three of their fucking behaviors that night towards Tamar was disgusting. And yes, Tamar, you do probably owe Trina an apology because you didn't have to escalate it to the point where you're grabbing her hair and then kicking her. Sure. They really should be coming to you to apologize. However, Tony doesn't feel like she owes you some level of an apology, which is kind of crazy to me. And I already know Towanda and Trina are not going to apologize because Towanda only cares about you as long as you give her some level of financial help. And then Trina's just going to go along with whatever Towanda is doing. There's too many T names, bruh. Very interested in seeing what's going to happen next week. I hate that Tamar's not going to be there, and I hate that Miss Evelyn let that shit fly. I'll say this, though. The wedding venue looked very pretty. Tamar, please, from this point forward, just love yourself and love your sisters from a distance.